Hey everybody, thanks for coming back again to watch course 6 of the EMP Splinterlands training series. Today we're going to be talking a lot about how you make money in the Splinterlands ecosystem. We're going to be coming over the things that you can buy and sell and the different tools that are in the ecosystem that can be utilized to earn you returns that can be very passive. Or if you really want to, at the end, we'll talk about the fact that instead of doing this stuff, you could just buy cards and play the game. But that's not going to be for everyone. I understand that. So let's put on our investor's hat and let's talk about what you can do within the ecosystem to make that return. So when we get into the site, we've talked about that the partnership is going to allow you to buy credits. Credits are going to have to be used first to buy certain things within the ecosystem. You're going to have to go ahead and buy packs and or cards. And what is the main thing that you want to do without those? And if you're a pack buyer, you can also buy potions, so we can talk about that as well. Now, the Chaos Legion set is their main set. They're going to have another one of these sets next year called Rebellion. And then they have mini sets that they release in between each one of those sets. The last one before, the one that is currently at, was called Dice, and the current one that out is called Gems. If you decide to buy either one of these packs, the main thing that you would be doing is either deciding to gamble and open them up, probably with potions for that better gambling chance to pull legendary cards cheaper than you would have to buy them, and or holding the packs until they sell out. Now, there is a governance proposal in the system that looks like it's going to pass, and I'll show you that when we talk about the governance token a little bit more. But basically, they're going to start burning these Chaos Legion packs so that by about the middle of, about the end of quarter one, these packs are going to stop going on sale. Then there'll be no packs on sale for about 3 months from the company. That will be the time where Chaos Legion packs will probably go up in value the most. I don't know what their cap will be. These are $4 packs. The old $2 packs have hit as high as $80 per pack, but none of those sets had 10 million packs sold. They only had at most 1.5 million packs sold. So I don't think the marketplace is going to be there for these. But can a $4 investment turn into a $5, $6, $7, $8, $10 pack once they're all burned and not being sold? I do believe that is very possible. Chaos Legion will still be in the modern format of the game when Rebellion comes out, but Untamed packs will no longer be in the modern format of the game. So we could see a drop off in the value of Untamed to newer players, while having the Chaos Legion be something that newer players really need to get. And so that's kind of the interesting part about possibly buying these. I can tell you I'm holding 1,000 packs for that time, expecting for them to go up in value. I don't know if I'll be right or not, but that's what I've decided to do. Now, when you talk about whether or not you should open them, really, I only think you should do that if you're buying like 100 packs or more, you're getting potions, and you're really hunting those gold foil legendary cards that are worth the most, and also rent out for a very good return. Still, that's a little bit more of a gambler's play. The better way to do this for a more solid return is to just go to the marketplace and buy the cards. Now, there's a couple different ways to figure out what cards to buy. And so we're going to talk about the 3 different tools that can kind of show you what are good cards to target. And we're going to talk about the different tools that can actually rent those cards out for you. The different tools that can go ahead and play the game for you. Sorry, I have a lot in my head I'm trying to make sure I cover, guys. And then there is also the fact that one of the other things you could just be doing is studying the marketplace and buying and selling the cards and flipping them during times when they become cheaper. Trying to corner the market on a card is something that's always something that has been done. There's an old story of a great player named Matt Clark who bought up all the flesh golems because he was one of the better cards in the game, and then he was able to sell those cards he was buying up for a quarter for like $2 a piece because he was the only one that had any. And so it was a very interesting tactic. Obviously, you have to have a deeper pocket to do that, especially in a set like Chaos Legion. But in Rift Watchers, which is only a 3 million pack series, might be more possible. Okay, now that we've talked about the packs, let's get into figuring out what cards you want to buy. And the service that I would recommend at this point for doing rentals. So I use SplexGG, There is another tool out there called Dragon Tools. These are automated rental tools. This one I do think is the best one in my opinion. But if you want to take a look at Dragon Tools, you can do that. I haven't used it enough to do a very good video on it. If I do learn how to do it, I will probably put one out on my YouTube channel. So hopefully you follow me there, as I will be putting out more updates constantly on newer news going on within the ecosystem. Okay, so once you're on Splex GG, you can add all your different multiple attack accounts. I talked about using the Hive keychain, and once you've added them all on here, you can see that you can manage all of your different accounts from one page, which is really kind of nice. If you are using the Archmage token, which currently I'm not using, this is because of a fee structure change we'll talk about a little bit more when they go into the botting. So my accounts are actually being botted by the Splinter Mate bot, this one, the Drazius, the Stever, and the Robinson one, but and the Gold Steve. So these four are being botted by Splintermate. And this account right here is the one that I play on my own. And Steve Speaks is actually my account that holds cards for the rental golem to go ahead and rent out. So this is the one we're going to be talking about here for the rentals. But this has also got a great market tool to help you understand what cards to buy. So if you go over here to their market tab, they have this... I don't know why that always pops up. I'm not having any problems. But this is always here, and it is able to go ahead and let you find out what cards have the best kind of price gaps to target for possibly doing a purchase and relist of certain cards to make a quick buck, or what cards have the best ROI. But one of the things I want you to understand before you use this tool is the rental cycle of cards. So the rental cycle of the cards coincide with the seasons of Splinterlands. There are 2 seasons a month, and once you have logged into the game and you go to the battle screen, you can see how many days are left. They roughly run between 14 and 16 days. On February, when there's only 28 days, there can end up being one that's only 13 days. But basically, at the very start of the season, the first week, rental prices tend to be a little bit down. And then during the the coinciding last week of the rental series, they tend to go back up. There is a bit of a trick that some people do where they'll cancel out all their rentals on 2 days before the season ends, because then they can't be re-rented for 24 hours. But then they become up for rental on the very last day of the season when prices are the highest. People rent them out at that highest price, but Splinterlands forces you to rent cards for 2 days. So then on the first day of the season, when rental prices are normally very low, you can still pull in a very big return. But you do have to sacrifice that second day. So you're kind of sacrificing the second highest day to get the highest day of the week twice. That takes some manual effort, and most people, I would say, just let the bot run it. But that is a little trick to just eke out a little bit more returns. But because the rental cycle works like that, and it has this really big up and then down kind of motion, if you look at the tools on the wrong days, you might buy cards that look like they're a great, amazing buy. And it's because you're checking on the last day of the season when ROIs are just off the chart. So when you're using the market tool, you usually probably want to be on 14 days. 14 days will kind of fix that, but you still want to be aware of what day you are on in the season. Because if I'm looking at the last 14 days and we're at the 7 point of the day, that means that I'm at a pretty good place. But if you were literally on the first day of the first day of the season, and then in the last 14 days you had a full season, that's kind of okay too. But if you use any of these other tools, like if I was in the last 3 days, cards are going to look a lot worse here. Their ROIs are going to be a little bit lower, and it's going to be because they're only having their price data for like the middle of the first week of the season. So I want, if I go up to 14 days, and you're going to see the cards that are listed here are going to drastically change. So over the last 14 days, like Uraeus, I know that's a great card to own and rent. Revealer, really good card to own and rent. Goblin Thief as well. Mantoid, Runic Skyclaw is extremely powerful. So is the Ash Golem. See, these are the top cards renting out as far as your best ROI over the last 14 days. But if I go down to 3, now I'm going to think, the Ash Golem's still here, but all of a sudden Chaos Legion agent has jumped above Uraeus. The Pirate Archer popped up. I don't know why. That card's not very meta. The Centurion Mage popped up here. The River Nymph did. So the shorter time frame you are on, the more that this tool can kind of trick you into buying cards that look like that are hot right now as opposed to hot all of the time. Now, what can you use the 3-day for? The thing that you can use the 3-day for is the ability for you to understand if maybe there are some cards that you need to reprice because they're doing really good, and you might notice that your bot has rented them out at lower prices, so you want to cancel that rental so that they re-up the next day at that higher level. Now, that's just something that's kind of interesting. Now, they do have buying tools on this marketplace that allow you to do bulk buys and pick up cards that you find out that you targeted. Like, let's say I was using the tool, I was looking at the 14-day one. I got to use the key bindings, otherwise it's going to keep yelling at me, it seems. And I decided, okay, I like Uraeus's. I want to buy them. And so I can open this up and I can do a buy, and then I can go ahead and do the bulk buys. However, I don't use this site to buy. I actually use Peak Monsters. And I'll use this same example, right? Because if I was going to do here and I was going to come and I was going to buy some level 1 Uraeus's, they're going to cost me 16 cents each. Now, they do have some cash back in here, so I'm going to get a little bit of cash back on each one of these, but they're going for 16 cents. The way I buy my cards is I use Peak Monsters, which we've talked about a little bit in the past, but I'm going to go to the buy tab here, and then I'm going to go to Epic, and he's a rewards card, Uraeus, and you see this high bid here. I'm going to use the bidding system. So the high bid here is about 15.2 cents. So I could put in a bid at 15.5 cents. I could save roughly half a cent on each one that I want to buy, and I would be able to let them be sold to me instead of me being on this site and say doing a bulk buy of 10, where I'm now going to push the price up from 16 cents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 16.1, 16.2. 16.4. Now, Uraeus is not a very expensive card, so this example proves a point, but maybe is numbers that wouldn't matter to you. If they don't, to be honest, on Uraeus, I might not use the bidding system. But on some of the more expensive cards, sometimes the bids can be a multiple quarters below the actual, to multiple dollars below the current ask, and sometimes it pays to bid and save that money if you have the time to wait. Now, if you're looking to really go ahead and get that money in, then this bid tool isn't bad, because you do get some cash back in the form of DEC, so you can get your first DEC given into your account. Now, what cards, so this can help you pull down those cards that you want to buy based on let me minimize this, on their ROIs, right? So this one right here, this one says it's 96% per year. This is a 90, this is a 77. They're also showing you what BCX these are at. They're also showing you the BCX that is the highest return. So Uraeus gets the best return at level 2. That's because at level 2, he's an absolute beast of a card in bronze. He's an amazing card there, and so you need to buy 4 of them. So to get the 96% return, you'd need to be buying 4 cards, combining them into one card that is level 2, and then renting it out. This card will tell you what level these cards rent the best at. As you can see, the Runic Skyclaw actually rents the best at 11 BCX. So it is going to be showing you always the best BCX combination for renting. Now, 1 BCX cards with high ROIs are the dream. And the reason why, well, I'll just jump over here and we'll use the regular market to show you an example, is that when you are buying a card, we'll go ahead and go to Chaos Legion, and we'll go ahead and go to Summoners, because this will show this pretty well. When you are buying cards off the marketplace, you'll notice that the per BCX price for this summoner right here, somebody selling 60 of them, is $1.62. But the first single card on the market is actually listed at $1.88. That's because what happens most of the time in the Splinterlands ecosystem is that when somebody wants to sell one of the cards that they've leveled up, they're willing to take a discount. The higher level the card, the bigger discount they offer. You might notice this level 5 card with only 40 cards in it is selling at $1.70. And if we have, let's say if we have a smaller example, well, this level 4, somebody is trying to sell at $2. Why? Because somebody might be willing to spend $50 where they're not willing to spend $108 to grab this level 6. That is the give and take of this ecosystem. The other thing that that you can see, and their tool kind of shows you when you look over here at SplexGZ, is the price gap. If you have a very big price gap in cards, so let's go ahead. This one right here says there's a 65% price gap in his single BCX that rents at 77%. So let's go look up the Goblin Thief on the market, because he'll be a fun one to look at. He is an untamed card. He is green. He is a monster. Here he is. So you can see that somebody is selling out max level copies of this card at level 10 in the 30-cent range, right? But then if you go down, you got a 3 cost one at 43 cents, but the first single BCX card is at 92 cents. So there would be a thought that somebody who wanted to kind of try to make a flip here could buy these 3 cards if they thought they could resell them, and then list them with the per BCX price being, let's say you bought these 4 and then relist them at like a 40, maybe a 45%, and push up the floor. That is a theory of a way that you can do that. It's definitely more risky. If the card doesn't sell, you're kind of stuck. And as you can saw, his best return for the Goblin Thief is currently renting at 1 BCX. So it's an interesting little play here, depending on whether or not you'd want to take that risk. But that is what the price gap tool is showing you. It is basically showing you that there is some high level card that is drastically cheaper than the cheapest single BCX card. When you see these, something you can do is hunt deals. Like I would say, if I was really looking to make a little money, one of the cards that's kind of interesting is this one. So this one at 35 cents is a level 4, and this one at 39 cents is a level 5. And this level 5, you know, somebody has one here at 26, but they're the only 2 level 5s on the market until you get to this 34 one. So I could buy these 2 level 5s at $26 and then relist them, I don't know, at $32. So then they'd be over here in line with the other level 5. That's the max level for silver, level 5. You usually do want to target cards at max level for a league. Anything in not max level for a league will be bought later on or afterwards, unless somebody is cheap, will be rented later on or afterwards. So that's something to note. But you know, that's some of that's one of the different ways you can use the Splinter Meats tool. Sorry, needed a little drink of water. Okay, now that we've kind of played around with the market, I'll talk to you about a couple other tools. So when we were on the dashboard, we talked about the fact that Splinterlands has bots in the ecosystem. Well, if they have bots within the ecosystem, then the bots are going to be able to tell you what cards to buy to use on their bots. The cards that the bots used are the cards that are rented the most by people who are on the bots, and they put to get out some very interesting posts. So as I told you before, this one is got the Archmage bot, and I can't show you how to use it because I don't have a token right now. Sorry about that. But it has very, very simple settings, and I'll show you them on the Splintermate site, and they're very, very similar. But the Archmage team put out this post here, the top 30 suggested cards by the Archmage Splinterlands hand selector. This goes over it by league. So if you want to be somebody who rents out bronze level monsters, they're saying the best monsters that the bot uses the most are the Deep Lurker, the Flying Squid, the Demon Shark, Genoshanis. I'm not going to go through every one of these. It would take too long, but these are the bronze ones. Here's the bronze summoners that are the best. Kelia, Quix the Devious, and Thaddeus the Brood. At silver, Deep Lurker is still on the list. Dinchawal is still on the list. Oshanis is still on the list. But basically, if you take a look at the cards the bot likes to use the most, you can see that basically which ones the bot says win the most, and in turn, which ones tend to be the most valuable. They go over gold, and they even go over diamond. Now, the diamond ones are kind of interesting because it lets you know what diamond cards are the best. Now, the bot does right now kind of focus on the wild version of the game and not the modern version of the game. So you are going to see some cards on there that you might not be targeting if you're only looking at modern ones. At the same sense, when you are doing the Splintermate bot, if you come into their Discord, they have this section where they have a guide and they have a Google Doc with the cards that their bot uses for bronze and silver. Now, the big difference between Archmage and Splintermate, I'll go ahead and go over it now, is that Splintermate is kind of made for bots that are going to be playing in bronze and silver and maybe sneaking into gold at the end of the season, and bots that are going to be playing in diamond and champion. Archmage does seem to be the better bot at the upper leagues, but you can still see their list here where they list out the neutral cards, the death cards, the water cards, the dragon cards, and the earth cards and fire cards. Now, I do know the EMP team is working on putting out a document with this information compiled down into a good list with some kind of different information. So these are all the different ways that you can pick the cards that you want to buy and you want to target. After that, you can decide if you'd like to use the bid system on peak monsters, or if you just want to do it the quick way and do the bidding with the cash back on the Splix GG. So now you've bought the right cards. So now it's time to start earning money with them. That's where we get into the rental bot. So we're going to go ahead and get back into my account, and we're going to click on the Steve Speaks account because this is my rental account bot, and you can see that once you have it on there, they're going to give you an amount of money your current cards on the account are worth, how much rental income your entire, like if every card of mine was being rented out, I could earn 15,000 DEC a day. I'm earning about 12,000 a day currently. It'll give me my overall percentage of return, which is 6.6%. Now, I have not been actively buying cards to rent out. I have been renting out my extra cards. So you should be able to pull a higher ROI than this buying cards specifically to rent out. Basically, I had a bunch of old cards from the wild set that I used to play with, and now I'm renting them out. You'll also be able to see whether or not the cards are rented out. And if they're not rented out, you can see like these two here. No one's renting my gold acid shooter. No one's renting this level 1. I'm having an issue renting out my air elementals, and you can kind of keep track of what's not being rented out, and you can kind of see if maybe you want to sell those cards because they're not earning you the rental income that you thought you were. You'll also maybe understand that, okay, maybe people don't rent level 3 or level 1 of this card, so I need to go ahead and look into that. Like right here, see, nobody is renting my Ancient Lynches. Actually, 2 people are, so they're coming off of rentals. I guess I don't know if I have a good example. Maybe this one here. So this animated corpse that's level 7, nobody is renting. And for some reason, this gold angelic mandarin is not being rented. Again, the best tool to figure out, though, whether or not you should be leveling up your cards is the market tool that explains the ROI based on the current level and whether or not you want to push it to that level. Now, again, though, remember, if you decide to combine cards, there's a certain point where your resale value of that card is going to go down, because you're going to have to discount it with the other people selling at that discounted level. So if you want to just be somebody who rents out level 1 cards, currently that tends to work. In the future of the game, it might not work and you might be forced to level them up. I think that bronze level ones, so taking cards to level 2 for rares and level 3 for commons, is a sweet spot where they do get rented a lot from people who want to win in bronze, and you get a little bit more money for them. They'll be rented out more often, and then you'll be able to still sell them at a pretty good price, because those cards aren't like 30 or 40 cards inside a card. They're only 5, so you can just give them maybe a tiny discount compared to a single BCX. Or sometimes you could just list it for the same price and somebody will still buy it because they were going to buy 5 copies anyways, so they didn't really need to get a discount. As you can see here, there are a lot of different ways you can filter this list that are to look at certain cards, looking at cards that are for rent, the ones that are currently rentable. So I can hit that one, and then I can refresh this, and now I should be able to see. Oh wait, they're all rentable. I'm sorry. If you had some of the cards, I don't suggest you do this, but you could use one account and own cards that you play with and rent with. I suggest you do 2 accounts if you're going to be using Splex. That way you have one. One of the other things to mention, though, that I forgot about, is you're going to want to make sure that you have enough hive power for the amount of actual cards that you own. So if we go back to here really quick, and then we'll go back in there. Let's go through. When you have the rental bot enabled, you're going to see that they're going to show this RC number and your RC percentage, your revenue, your cards, your DEC that you currently have, and your number of cards you have in the account. So this is 1,900 cards. And then it's going to show right here that they suggest that I have, for each 100 cards, at least 17 million RC. So if I take the 17 million, right, and I times that by the fact that I have just under 2,000 cards on the account, I need to have at least 34 million-ish. Wait, no, it's more than that. Hold on, I didn't do that right. 17, if I do it right, 17 million times, and then it's about 20, because I have roughly 2,000 cards. I need to have 340 million RCs. And then if they go here, they're going to say that basically one hive is currently worth 1 million RC. So I would need to have about 340 hives staked onto my account for my current collection renting out. They'll show you this. You have to do a little bit of math to figure it out, but they will show you your minimum number that you need to have. Like I said, about 327, 340 is what I calculated. And their recommended is 392 to give them a little wiggle room. The reason why they need this is because this bot is constantly repricing the cards for you, and it's going to be delisting them and relisting them as prices change and as the season progresses. So that, as you can see, when I look at my payouts, they constantly get bigger as we go throughout the season. This was the one for yesterday that was 10,000. The one before was 9. The one before was 8. The one before was 6. There was a 7. This must have been a little dip off because I had some cards that were unavailable to be rented. This one was 8. And then here was the end of the season. 17,000, 15,000 the day after because people got stuck holding it, and then a 15,000 the day before. So this is the thing where, like, you could kind of hurt the revenue on this day to make this day get bigger, but I don't suggest you do it. I've heard people do that. I don't think it's worth it. I think 15, 17, 15 is just fine because some of my cards still end up getting rented on the last day. And then 14, 14, and as you can see, it starts going back down. So this is why I said you have that kind of that cycle on the price values. Sometimes when the game is hot and when exciting things are going on, you might rent out your whole collection the entire time. Also, if you have a smaller collection, maybe you'll just be able to rent them out all the time, but the prices you get will change. All right, let's go ahead and jump back into here really quick, see if there's anything else we want to go over. They do have some very interesting tools that on this site. You can have a reward lookup. This is more for if your account is being played and you're not just renting out. That's what all of these are under ranked. You can also look at card pack values and Watcher pack values. These are calculators for buying and flipping Watcher packs. There is a secondary market for these packs, and if the cards get cheap enough, they say they're worth buying. So basically, they're saying that a single Watcher pack is currently worth about $4.75. Now, if we go to tribal decks, this is the main decks that I use for any of the Splinterlands tokens. We'll go here. We'll look up, oops, not Butterfly, Rift. So Rift packs are currently selling for about $4.51. So they're saying that there's actually profit to be made here buying these packs and reselling them. But 25 cents profit might not be enough for you. But if this got down to a low enough number, then they're saying that this is profitable. This isn't something I do. I can't stake a claim to know if this is true or not, but it is a tool that they have. They're the same thing for Chaos ones. They're saying Chaos packs are worth about $2.71 currently. And so if we look on the secondary market for Chaos packs, they are selling at $2.61. That is only a 10 cents variance. So this one is very, very, very close. Usually these variances get small because when they get big enough, a whale will come in and buy up enough of the secondary packs to equal that out. They'll open them and sell the cards because they can make a profit in doing it, and because then they can play that lotto hoping that they open a gold foil legendary card. Just to show you what one of those lottos would look like if you were doing it with those Watcher packs. If we go to the market for Watchers and gold legendary cards, so if you pull Curl Lurker, it's a cool 230. This one's 185. She's 115. If you get unlucky, you only get $42 if you pull this one. That's kind of where that arbitrage game comes into the play for the people who are a little bit more into that kind of setup. Okay, once you've set up the account, you do have to give it the posting key and the for your account for it to be able to rent your cards out. You have to give it a little bit more permissions. This is also why it's good to do it on a secondary account only with cards that you want to be rented out. Splex is so far is a trusted partner of Splinterlands. We're not expecting them to do anything different, but when they only have your posting key, they can only do renting of cards. They can't actually transfer them out. There is another key that is required for one of the bots we're going to talk about, but I'm going to tell you how to do that safely, and I recommend that you don't really use that unless you decide to do it, and that's when we talk about the two bots that can play the game. So I'll go ahead and close my Discord. You guys can't hear it, but I get little sounds when that's open. Sorry, you might have had a few at the beginning of the video. But let's get into the two kind of bots. Now, again, there is the Archmage bot or the Splintermate bot. I would say in the beginning, Splintermate is cheaper and can do just as good in the silver and bronze accounts. And if you want to get cards leveled up even higher and earn champion rewards. Oh, one of the tools they have, chest value by league. Let's go over this really quick. So as you can see, the historical average for chests in the leagues are listed here. So if you're playing in bronze, you get about 2 cents per chest, silver 5 cents per chest, gold 18 cents, diamond 55 cents, and champion 4.91. Now those are the historical values, but there's some very big rewards in these chests, and if you don't pull them, you're going to end up more around these numbers on a daily thing unless you get lucky and pull a very big reward. These over the last 3 days, they do it over the last 7 days, and over the last 30. The numbers should really be close to the same. The only time you're going to see a spike is when somebody out there opened up one of the chests that had a lot of rewards. So this is why you might want to have your cards playing the game for you, and why people rent the cards from you is to play these. In the beginning, while you're building your collection, you might just want to rent it out. But then once you have a good collection of cards, you might want to have a bot play it for you instead. Now, the pricing structure for the Archmage bot is that you have to buy one of the Archmage tokens. Currently, the regular access pass is around $24. You can buy a beta or alpha one, but I'm not going to cover today what extra stuff that gives you within their site, but it's some profit sharing and some other things like that. They cost a lot more. They also get you into some giveaways. I've never owned one, so maybe we can do another video talking about that if people are interested, and I can look into it. But basically, you would get paid $24, and then they're going to get 30% of your rewards. So they're going to have you do a special little command that is going to delegate it so that when you earn your SPS tokens for playing the game, they get 30%. For me, that was too high. I told them it was too high. I told them I was leaving the platform. They understood that, but that was their initial price. They're taking feedback. It could change in the future, and it could come back. Splintermate, on the other hand, has a flat fee of $1 per account per season. That's basically $1 per month to play your account. Oh no, per month, not per season, which allows you to get 2 seasons in for $1. So even at those smaller rewards of bronze accounts, this bot is still profitable for you. They also, within their platform, besides having the list, do have a card usage tab that show you the cards that get used the most. So that's another way that I meant to show you guys about being able to pick your cards. And then they also are able to go ahead. They do have a very slick dashboard. Now you can see I have 4 accounts loaded into here. They have a win rate of 52%. That isn't bad for a bot at all. I've seen this as high as 65%. It usually gets higher as we reach more closer to the end of the season, as the accounts with the really, really good cards tend to outpace my bot accounts. They don't have the best cards in the game. They have more the targeted cards that are meant to kind of be played at their level. It quickly shows you the current price of DEC. As I told you, it's a little bit under peg. It's at 0.92 now, so it's even a little better, only about an 8%, 7% even almost difference. It shows you the price of SPS and the price of vouchers. We'll talk about vouchers because if you decide to play the game and you start getting SPS, you can stake SPS to earn vouchers. It shows you the account balance on all of your current accounts. Then if you go to your overview, you're going to see your individual accounts. Now I'm going to be showing you just one of these accounts, but I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. I'm going to click on him, and we're going to go into here. So this is how it looks on an individual account if you wanted to come and look at them. It's going to show you when your next game is. It's going to show your current power level, your current rating, your current capture rate, and then you can go into the settings on the bot. The settings are all going to be the same when it comes to the bots. Different looking interfaces, but it is going to be the same. You're going to have to put in your posting key. You're going to have to enable the bot. You can tell it to disable after it reaches a certain rating. I don't use this feature. I don't see a lot of people that would anymore, because it used to be like if you made it to champion, you automatically earned so many chests, and now you just earn chests by playing the game every day. So this is kind of an older feature from a time before they changed the way the chest earning worked. You can put an interval for how long you want them to play in between matches. 40 minutes is pretty good to always keep your bot earning about 70% rewards per game. If you go any faster than that, then your per game winning is going to be lower when it comes to your rewards, but you're going to get more games in. This is kind of the number I usually leave it at until the end of the season, when I want them to try to maybe make sure that they rank up a little bit more or get some extra points, because I want them to play less at the beginning of the season when they're in lower leagues, earning less points for chests per match, and play more at the end of the season when they are able to get more chest points per win. And I'll go over that really briefly. Over here in the battle section, when you do a fight and you win a game, you earn these these points to earn chests on your daily quest and on your season quest. The amount of points you earn are basically based on the current league you're in. So right now I'm in Diamond 1. I'm earning pretty good points for Diamond 1, so I'm going to earn Diamond chests pretty fast. But I need to get into Champion so I can earn these Championship chests faster, because I'll be earning more points per match. So I'd rather push my ECR lower when I'm fighting in Champion than when I'm fighting in Diamond. On those smaller accounts, it's like when you're in Bronze 1 is better than being in Bronze 2 or 3, being in Silver is even better. So you want your bot to play more near the end of the season as opposed during the start of the season. So one tip I would say is to put this around like 45 to 50 minutes in the start of the season, and then once your bot reaches the league where it's going to be earning the most really good points, bring it down to 40 or 30 minutes. Maybe 35 is about as low as I ever go. Now this is kind of interesting. Because you earn points for winning no matter what, I put this number really, really, really high. So far, it's been working out just fine for me, but I have all of the cards. You might want to not go over this 55% if you are working with a smaller selection. But basically, I'm saying go ahead and play the best team to win instead of the best team for my quest. And I feel like that's the better way to go. I'm just going to leave it at that. You're going to want to pick which one you want to play, Wild or Modern. If you're only buying Modern cards, obviously play in Modern. You can set a limit on the last day of the season and you can go ahead and turn this up to like 10 minutes and say, play until you get down to 25% capture rate or something. Most of the time you don't want to go under 50 because when you go under 50, it burns your percentages faster. So I wouldn't lower it lower than this, but you can if you really, really wanted to push hard for a couple days. You can have the bots automatically claim your quest and season rewards. It's very important to have them do the automated claiming of quests because the quests reset. Like when you complete your quest, if you don't claim it for 4 hours, you lose those 4 hours. And if you do that every single day, you'll lose one daily amount of chests. So it's better to have the bot claim these than accidentally lose a day because you forgot to log in multiple times. You can automatically advance in leagues. It says, you can leave this disabled to play in Bronze. I actually want them to automatically go into Gold, so I'm going to change that really quick. I think that was the last thing. Oh, and then you can also you can automatically set up an account to transfer tokens and cards back over to your main account. The reason that their server does this is, let's say you wanted to open up like 10 accounts botting, you could have them take all their rewards and automatically transfer them back to you. I actually just physically do it. It's because I don't want to have to give them my active keys to the account. So this is where I'm saying that this one does have some more advanced feature sets, but you have to give them your active key. The active key allows them to send cards. They could theoretically steal your cards. Now, obviously, they're running a bot, they're running a business, but I can't vouch for Splintermate not doing some kind of huge rug, so I don't use these automated functions that require them having my active key. The Splintermate bot also can go as far as you not buying any cards and having it rent for you, and then it would require active key. If you want to do that, you get a separate Splinterlands account, give them that active key, have them only rent cards to play for you, and constantly take everything they earn off, and then you can not worry because you don't have anything on that account for them to steal. So that is kind of the way that you can do that. Okay, so we've talked about the bots. We've talked about being able to rent out your cards to earn a return. I've talked to you a little bit on how to pick the bots. So now let's go ahead and get into the SPS staking and farming pools. So if you go into the Splinterlands ecosystem and you click on the Splinter Shards, you're going to see that they have an in-game staking of these tokens. Now, when you start to play the game, for every battle that you win, if you're using a bot, you're going to get these tokens. If you're renting out your cards, you're going to get dark energy crystals. Now, when you want to change your dark energy crystals into another one, they are tradable on PancakeSwap, or they are tradable on tribal decks. You can click here. You can you can send them out to Hive Engine. I would ignore Steam Engine That's from when the game used to be on Steam. You can actually trade them on Tron or Ethereum, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. The main options you're going to want to do is either Hive Engine, which is the tribal DEX, or you're going to want to do Binance Smart Chain and send them to your Binance Smart Chain. And they are tradable, there is a pair on PancakeSwap. At that point, you could put your profits back into EMP, or you could put them into something else. If you have a bot playing the game for you and you're earning SPS, then you can take those SPS and you can stake them. If you decide to stake them, you're earning about a 29% APR, and you're going to have to unstake them over a 4-week period of time where you get 25% of the tokens back. So just know that that's how that works. SPS can be converted into DEC, but it's only worth doing if DEC is at $1. So you would actually take a little bit of a loss converting. You'd be better off selling the SPS into DEC. But if you didn't want to hurt the SPS price because you were really, really nice, then you could just convert it into DEC and take that 8% loss in the transaction. That's just something to note about that system. When you get your staking rewards, you're going to get something called a voucher token. We'll go into Tribal DEX. Tribal DEX is where you're going to have to sell your vouchers if you want to sell them. They're basically 31 cents per token right now, and they are used for bonuses. Like when you buy a lot of packs, you can get free packs if you give them vouchers. There's a Lux Vega Summoner they're going to be selling in a few days. When you buy her, you can get a 50% discount if you give them 500 vouchers. There is a lot of different things that they can be used, but they're minted. They're given out quite a lot. So even though this can be turned in for $1 value on buying Lux Vega, it's only selling for 31 cents. They are going to always try to drive value into their vouchers, but that's part of this APR. You're going to be getting vouchers and more SPS tokens. You can claim these whenever you want, but usually you're going to want to wait till you have a few tokens. Now, if you would rather take your rewards, they do have a couple different liquidity pools. Now, I'm going to ignore the deck SPS one here that's giving out DEC, and this one here that's giving out DEC, and these two are down here that are giving out DEC, because they just passed a proposal to remove giving out DEC to liquidity pools, and they're only going to be giving out the SPS token. They're going to be basically increasing the APRs on these pools a little bit, and just not giving out any more DEC rewards. There is a reward for a wrapped ETH pool on the Ethereum network, but that one obviously is more for people who are Ethereum whales. You can get into SPS and DEC on the Tribal DEX. That is where this SPS and DEC is staked. And you earn SPS. You can take those vouchers you earn and pair them up with the Hive token on the Tribal DEX and earn rewards. As you can see, this is 43%. This is 53%. The SPS and BNB token, you can move your SPS out to the Binance Smart Chain the same way that you would transfer out the DEC, and then once it's there, you can combine it with BNB, and if you just hold it in your wallet, you'll start to earn tokens here right here. Now, all of my SPS BNB has been deposited into the generator of EMP, but you could just hold it in your wallet and you'll earn some rewards. They also have an SPS swap Hive pool. This one's paying out at 58%. So these are all the different liquidity pools. Quickly, I'll just show you the proposal tab. So they do the proposal tab. Here's the one about burning unsold Chaos Legion packs. I voted yes on this. This is the one to replace LP rewards and give out no more DEC. I voted yes on this, and both of these look like they're going to pass. They do a lot of different proposals. Not all of them pass. As you can see, these ones failed. This one passed, and then failed. So you do get a vote based on how much SPS you have staked. If you decide to stake it and you get a decent amount up here, it is probably worth it to at least pay attention to the proposals tab when they have a little pop-up that shows up that says we have a new proposal, because you're just going to want to understand that. Okay, guys, so that I think covers the real basics of how you earn money within the Splinterlands. You can either buy packs and flip them. Later on, once they've gone up in value, once they've sold out, you can open packs gambling for great cards. You can buy cards to try to sell them later on for more. You can buy cards to rent them out. And I've shown you a lot of the different ways you can find the best cards to rent out. And the service that I use is the Splex service for renting them out. They have a lot of great explainers if you join the Splex site to use it. I didn't really go deep into how to set it up to rent, but really it's as simple as giving them your active key and having cards on your account. I also talked to you about the Peak Monsters bid system. They have a couple other different tools. You can manually rent out cards using their system, but you're really going to have to pay really close attention to the prices of cards to make sure that you are changing the prices throughout the season. Otherwise, you're going to miss those increased rewards I saw you Splintermate bringing me. Splex has proven to me that their 10% fee is completely worth it, because I would not have the time to reprice the cards, and I would have just earned 6,000 DEC all season, like you saw that lowest day I earned, because I wouldn't have repriced anything, and they repriced things and moved it around and got me to earning 17,000 DEC at the end of the season. So yeah, they can have their 10% daily fee because they earn me a lot more DEC than I would earn on my own. We talked about botting. We talked about the two botting services that I have used, Archmage and Splintermate. We talked about the fact that Archmage got it too expensive for me. Maybe 30% of your rewards is okay for you. The main reason for that is they were playing in my championship championship account, because I did say they are designed for the bigger account. I earned a 70,000 DEC chest one day. I would have paid them 15,000 DEC, which would have been quite a bit of money for a botting service. So basically, if I hit the lotto, they get 30% of that lotto, and I didn't want to give them that opportunity. Splintermate does not do that. They are flat fee per month. And so I like that better. If Archmage is also, I had to buy a token to get into it. So it's like buy a token and give us 30% of your money. Their bot is better. It does win at a higher percentage, but the Splintermate bot for me wins enough for the price. That is something you'll kind of have to decide on your own. If you want your deck to win at the highest level, Archmage does seem to be the way to go. Anything else you guys want to know, please leave comments on these videos, as you will be redirected to my YouTube, and I can make follow-ups for you to find there. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.